Hello everyone. Today I would like to do a little retrospect, a little look back on Thriller 40, its release, its performance, and the drama surrounding it. And I wanted to look back almost 2 years after its release to see if the whole hatred for it was reasonable or not. Many people say that the release was pretty unorganized, like a mess. And I would agree with that because it was coming from Thriller 25, Bad 25, nothing for Dangerous or History 25, and probably nothing for Invincible 25, let's be honest. Putting Thriller 40 doesn't really make sense in whatever rule they had because, you come from Thriller 25, everyone expects you to do a 25th anniversary album for every other album. You don't expect a bad 40. We didn't get a bad 40. We didn't get an off the wall 40. We didn't even get an off the wall 25. So seeing how the state manages that, it's really confusing and it's pretty messy and it doesn't make sense, and I don't like it because the state should be held accountable for not doing its job, For Dangerous 25, they had no excuse to make a documentary, release some unreleased material, and do what they did with Bad 25. For History, they said that it was COVID, but that's a whole nother issue that I would like to make a video about. But Thriller 40 was just really a weird concept to me, because why are you gonna release a 40th anniversary album for Thriller and not do it for Bad? Because I don't think they're gonna do it for Bad. There hasn't been any announcements or anything, and you're still missing Dangerous 25, History 25, and they're most likely not gonna do Invincible 25 because it's not profitable. And that's another issue with the Jackson estate. Anything that they don't see that could make a lot of money, they don't make it. They're working as a company. They're not working to keep Michael's legacy alive. They're just working as a company to make money. And I understand that, but it's still disappointing as a fan to see that the people that manage most likely the greatest artist legacy, the people that manage Michael Jackson's legacy, aren't doing really what they're supposed to be doing. So that's pretty disappointing for me. To the album itself, I remember it being announced on the Michael Jackson Instagram, I believe, and I was pretty excited because I knew that there had to be unreleased songs that were going to be released. After a couple of months, I believe, the state started putting out posts on their Instagram that would announce new songs either like every week, every day. I forgot, but it was like that. They would announce basically what songs were going to be in it. When the final set list was released, I was pretty disappointed because songs like She's Trouble, Carousel, Got the Hots, Sunset Driver were already released, and they have been released since Michael was alive. Basically, I was pretty disappointed because these songs have already been released even when Michael Jackson was alive, and it just doesn't seem like the big spectacle that they were trying to make with this Thriller 40, with the album celebration. I don't feel like this were the songs that were supposed to be re-released because they've already been released officially. I don't think these songs were supposed to be in here. I feel like we should have gotten more unreleased material, like, I don't know, more demos for other songs. Either that, or we have already run out of every single Thriller material, which I don't think has happened yet. But still, re-releasing these songs, I feel like it's more on the state. Of course, they released it, but more of a lazy act from the state that they wanted to keep some songs for probably future releases that were probably gonna make more money. Or maybe a new remix album like Escape. They were keeping those songs for those plans for future albums. And again, they work like a company. They don't work like a state that's supposed to keep Michael Jackson's legacy alive. So I don't like that they released songs that were already released even when Michael Jackson was alive. And all this being quote-unquote bonus material, which really isn't. This has been released for over almost 20 years at this point. Now for the actual unreleased songs, we got Behind the Mask, the demo for Thriller, the demo for Best of Joy, What a Lovely Way to Go, Who Do You Know, and Can't Get Out of the Rain. I was personally more excited for the Behind the Mask demo because, you know, we got a quote-unquote finalized version in 2010, but we never got to listen to the demo, and the demo was never leaked. So I was pretty excited for that. I was kind of excited for the Starlight demo because the leaked version that we had was in really low quality, so I was kind of excited for that. For the rest, they were cool. They're usually a skip for me and when they come up on my playlist, but I'm glad that Michael Jackson Estate took the time and effort to dig through the archives and release this bonus material. Thriller and Behind the Mask, they were pretty cool. I remember being in school and putting my headphones all the way up, so I was able to get like the best listening experience to Behind the Mask, and I was not disappointed. For the Starlight demo, I was not disappointed either. Really good quality now. We are able to hear things that we weren't able to hear before, and overall pretty good. The other songs, they were good. They were all right. They're there. It's a good thing they're there. For the other material that we got was the 4K versions of Beat It and Thriller. I applaud the state for this. I give them the credit they deserve. It was pretty good. I was blown away by the quality and the work that they did to bring these music videos back to life, because, you know, it's been like almost like what, 13 years that they've been in like really bad quality. It was a good thing. I appreciate them for that. But we were still missing one music video, which was Billie Jean, and we're still missing it to this day. But anyway, we got those two short films, and we got a remaster of the Thriller songs, the original Thriller songs, on streaming platforms, so they're in higher quality now. And then a documentary was announced to come out along with the album. I was pretty disappointed when they said the documentary was going to be delayed. I don't remember for what issues, but I was still pretty disappointed because, you know, it's a new film, it's a new documentary. I want to know what it has to say. I remember being in my room. I woke up like at 6 in the morning, 8 in the morning, I forgot. It was really early, and I logged onto my computer and I started looking for the documentary. I finally got it. I put my headphones in and I watched it. It was not what I was expecting. It was a film that talked about Thriller, but it didn't really go into the details of how the songs were made. I watched Bad 25 after that to like get a sense of what a quote-unquote good documentary was, and I realized that they had made a lot of mistakes for Thriller. First, the runtime is only 1 hour and 30 minutes, while Bad is 2 hours, and I feel like you have a lot more to say about Thriller than Bad. Thriller being the best selling album of all time compared to Bad. I believed that they were going to be talking about every song on the album and how it was produced, like in Bad 25. I believed they were going to go through song, explain the history, how it came to be, probably show some new footage about Michael working on the song. I don't think they even talked about the lady in my life. I don't think they mentioned it at all. I believe that this was a documentary that was rushed, and a documentary that could have been worked on a lot more. A documentary that really didn't know what it was supposed to be about. It was supposed to be about Thriller. They talked a little bit about it. They showed some new footage. They didn't really go in depth into really anything, and it was pretty disappointing. They didn't really go into depth about anything. I feel like the most they talked about was probably the tour itself, the Victory Tour, rather than the album itself. It's good that we got new 4K footage from the Victory Tour, since we never had that before. I was pretty happy. But the documentary is about the album Thriller. And I get, that this is part of what made Thriller so successful, but the documentary itself is about Thriller. I feel like you shouldn't be spending the majority of your time talking about a tour that wasn't even a Michael Jackson tour. It was Jackson's tour. So it was the whole Jackson brothers. It wasn't a Michael Jackson tour. It was not a Thriller tour. It was a Jackson's tour. When the documentary finished, I came out pretty empty. I didn't come out feeling like I learned anything. Part that made me really upset on how lazy the Michael Jackson estate is that for some shots where they were comparing today's artists were inspired by Michael Jackson, by his dance moves and everything, they were showing footage from Michael's tours, of course. And it just seemed like they got this footage straight off of YouTube. They just screen recorded it from Michael Jackson high definition, from that YouTube channel that I'm pretty sure we've all watched. They just screen recorded a bit of that and put it into the actual documentary. I don't know why they do that. You're the Michael Jackson estate. You have all the footage that you need in your archives for you to be able to make this documentary, make it the highest quality possible. And that made me pretty sad. And another aspect about the documentary that didn't really make sense was that they dedicated a whole segment of just BTS. They dedicated a whole segment to just BTS and TikTok. I don't know what this really has to do with the production of Thriller. Yeah, it does have to do a lot with Michael Jackson's legacy and how it has impacted new generations, and how even without having an official account on TikTok, it has 1 billion mentions. I don't know the exact number that they put out, but this doesn't really have to do with anything about Thriller. And after the documentary and after the whole album came out, I started to think about it. I started to try and think what could have made this album better. And overall, I feel like they could have chosen more songs to be in the bonus material, work on the documentary a little bit more, probably promote it better, because I only saw some signs in my city, and I live in a pretty big city. I only saw 5 signs max about Thriller 40, and I know they're able to do a lot more than that, because a month after, or however long after the Michael Jackson musical was announced, my whole city was just plastered with MJ the musical. So I am sure that they're able to promote an album way better than just putting some signs. Overall, I would give this album a 6 out of 10. I like the new things that they brought in. We got to see Michael Jackson again in the spotlight by some news corporations and stuff like that. I like that they released new footage for Thriller 40. I liked that they remastered Beat It and Thriller. There's a lot of issues that shadowed the good things. So yeah, I would just give it a 6 out of 10. It was an alright album. It was a really okay documentary at its best. And yeah, I would like to hear your thoughts. Again, this is all my opinion. You don't have to agree with it. And yeah, this was it. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.